Deep in the Nandip district, two 20-somethings were very bored. Boxed in by the coronavirus and waiting for the end of the world, they decided to do what they do best. Do daft things. And record them. This is Jack and Joshua. Ultimate crossover.
Welcome to the Ultimate Crossover Coronavirus Special Edition. As always, I'm Jack, joined with...
And I'm Josh.
I'm Ellie.
Yes, the Despondent Correspondent.
Despondent Correspondent. And of course, this is our part 2 of the two-parter special COVID-19. Obviously, last time we left on a bit of a cliffhanger. No, I didn't get infected. I am scot-free, lucky boy. And Josh and Ellie are still sane.
Well, that's pushing it, but we're still alive.
Yeah.
That's the important thing.
Yeah, we think our cold got a bit worse, don't we?
A bit worse, yeah.
Yeah, we were both a little bit bedridden Friday.
From a cold.
From a cold. I was bringing up phlegm, so it,
Yeah, lovely.
Fun. And Ellie was sort of wrapped up in bed with an earache, and I've got an ear infection. Funnily enough.
It's all going well for you guys.
Yeah.
It's great.
So I seem to have everything at the moment, bar
coronavirus.
Touch wood.
Touch wood.
So how have you been, Jack?
I've been alright.
Yeah?
I think this week's been a little bit more stressful than the other one, the one before. Simply because it's an uncertainty we're living in. Work's still working, even though many people at work don't want it to be working, because they feel their health is at risk, which it kind of is. But again, I'm going to be careful with what I say because I don't want to land myself in trouble. So, so even saying that's probably a bit of a risk, but oh well. But so it's been a bit of an uncertainty, and because I know of asthmatics that have gone into self-isolation, I kind of thought I would be probably doing the same, but I didn't want... Well, I think it is a good idea to do the same, but I didn't want to do it myself until I had some official support. Like, say I got a letter from the NHS or work just said, look, we know you've got asthma, it's best for you not to be here. So all this week I was kind of hoping I'd get some, not a loophole, but some form of official documentation or a speak or someone talking to me so I can go home and isolate, just for safety. But unfortunately, I don't think I've not received any word from NHS, which is probably a good thing in the respect that I'm not at high risk.
Yeah.
So and I think where I work strongly believes that I'll be all right. So I'm going to take that as a bit of good news. But I think it's more the fact that this week's been stressful just because I've heard I'm getting heavy implications that from friends and other asthmatics to sort of isolate, and the stressful part of it is I would, but I obviously need the money coming through, and my work won't won't pay people who who disappear if they don't have symptoms. So I was caught between a hard place and a rock, which was sort of stressing me out a bit, but I've sort of accepted it, and I'm just sort of getting ready for next week.
Because obviously, since we did the last podcast, obviously we've gone into virtual it's national emergency / lockdown, but the borders are still open. I'm not sure if it is a proper lockdown, unless all the non-essential jobs say don't come in. We're closing because we've been told to by the government. Then that would be a proper lockdown. At the moment, it's more like a soft-core lockdown. Yeah.
Someone on the news called it a partial lockdown.
That's a good way to describe it, because obviously, as Jack said, non-essential workers are meant to be staying at home, except apparently if you work for Sports Direct.
Really? Are they still open?
Well, no, they shut, but the day after Boris did his address, Mike Ashley, the boss of Sports Direct said, oh no, workers come on in, and then halfway through the morning, I think, said, oh no, we're closing. So what I want to know is how many of those people who used public transport put themselves and others at risk.
Yeah.
Twice in the space of 3 hours.
Yeah, well,
just
it's ridiculous.
Just because Mike Ashley couldn't actually get his act together.
Wow. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. Shall we jump to a song before we talk about more about the lockdown?
Yeah, that sounds like a good idea.
Cool. All right. So
Get the party started.
yeah, as with last time, we've got music from artists that we know, and this was actually the first artist I asked, and I didn't put her in last week's, but I'll put her in this week. This is Danielle Sharp, who Jack and I went to school with.
Yep.
Yep. Lovely woman, very good singer, very good musician, and this is her newest single called No Man.
You're a very small man from a very small town, with little understanding what goes up comes down. Cause as the saying goes, there's always pride before a fall. When you realise I'll be blocking all your calls. Cause I'm moving up, I'm moving on, I'm moving sideways. No more will I be saying stay the night at my place. Patience for you has sadly expired. Stories and lies are only making me tired. Got down, fed up, now I'm making space for me. Time being with you is like a joke without a punchline. Now's the time for me to wash my hands. Independent women don't need no man. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. No, 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 man. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. No, 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 man. Now I know it's very strange you didn't get your way. The tiny violins as they begin to play. When you turn about my door and you expect to be my hero. Left your bridges burning, now my feelings stand at zero. Had enough of you and extra complications. Don't need your attention or your fickle validation. Now's the time for me to wash my hands. Independent women don't need no man. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. No, 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 man. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. No, 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 man. The way you look at me just screams regret for all the things you shouldn't have said. Sometimes I can't forget. Believe me, I've tried. For months I thought you were the one, when I to you was just good fun. I'd love to point the finger, shed the blame, because you never felt the same. Did you ever feel the same? Feel the same? No, 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 no. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. No, 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 man. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. No, 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 man. I'm an uphill battle, I'm a shooting star. You couldn't hold on to me in an armored car, even though you promised to love and look after me. Looking at you, that was like a glimpse into my future. Don't think either of you ever read the Kama Sutra. There's no hope in hell that you could ever satisfy me. Do I regret though? No, 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 no. No, 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 no. No, 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 man. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. No, 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 man. No, 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 man. No, 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 no. No, 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 man. No, 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 man. No, 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 no. No, 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 man.
That was Danielle Sharp with No Man, which you can download from Amazon Music. I'm not sure about iTunes actually, I probably should have double checked that, but I got it off Amazon. So yeah, please go and I'll put a link in the description of the video. So as we said before the song, it's been the first week of the lockdown. How are we we've obviously touched a bit on it. How are we finding the lockdown / partial lockdown /
I've got a nerdy fact.
Go on.
So that I've forgotten. Lockdown's the name of a transformer. he was in the films. I knew something was funny about it. I was like, lockdown. Oh wait, yeah, that's the guy that killed Ratchet. What a bastard. I mean, what's a really naughty man?
Oh great, more editing for me to do.
Yeah, have fun with the bleeping. You did a good job last time, so I thought I'd give you some more fun stuff. That one really made me chuckle. I know you shouldn't toot your own horn, but I was laughing to myself. I thought it was hilarious.
To be fair, I'm fine with having the word bastard in there. It's just when you say I try and edit out.
What the f*** are you talking about? Nah? Well, have fun with those beeps.
Good bleepy.
Thank you.
Yes, anyway, dealing with lockdown. What you need is a really big sword and a guy called Optimus Prime and you're sorted. Oh wait, you're talking about coronavirus. Hard for me to say. It's probably a different story between me and you because you two are really probably isolated. So you really can't go anywhere, so...
Forcibly introverted.
Yeah, you are locked down whilst I'm still, as I said, as I've been making it well known, I'm still going to work.
And running errands for me.
Yes, doing supply runs.
Thank you again for the shopping yesterday.
I feel like I was on a timer. I was like running around Sainsbury's, like I can't stay in this aisle too long, and there's like multiple people coming and shit. I need to move, go. Like trying to find. I wanted to just put the trolley somewhere so I didn't have this big lug to carry around and just run around free roam,
Supermarket
lightweight.
style.
Yeah.
Well, I was actually thinking more Pac-Man, because if you imagine some people in the shop have coronavirus, it's like you're trying to avoid the ghosts.
Mate, I was treating everyone like they did have coronavirus.
That's probably the best way to act, to be fair.
As long as you're not rude about it, just run away from people screaming. I mean,
Infected!
I think if you do go shopping, the two best ways to act is active A, you have the virus and you don't want to spread it, or B, they have the virus and you don't want to catch it.
Well, to be fair, the first one is official NHS policy anyway, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
That was their advice.
I don't think that was my own personal opinion. I think that's where I got it from.
So what are we thinking about? Obviously, quite a lot's happened this week. I mean, I checked the news before we came on recording, and we've now got over 1,200 deaths now in the UK. Italy's gone up again by another 900 and something. But obviously, the big news sort of the past couple of days has been Boris Johnson, Chris Whitty, and Matt Hancock.
Did you guys have a guilty little chuckle?
Yes.
I'm sorry. It's serious, but when you heard Boris Johnson had symptoms of COVID-19, I couldn't help but laugh. I don't know why. It's like serious. This man might, could get really ill.
Yeah.
But I don't know, because he's trying to fight against it. Just the irony of it.
Because I actually found out a couple of things about Boris Johnson after hearing he had COVID. I didn't know, for instance, he was 55 years old.
Oh.
I thought he was much younger, but looked older.
I thought he was much older.
Oh, see, I thought he was in his mid-40s.
But considering when I was young, I thought he was a comedian. It took me ages to realise he was the Mayor of London.
Yeah.
My opinion isn't necessarily best.
Yeah, but to be fair, like everyone else in this country, I don't think before he became Prime Minister, no one took him seriously.
No.
No.
I don't think some people still take him seriously, to be honest.
I rarely do.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair to him, I'm not a big fan of his, but he has dealt in a lot of ways quite well with this. He's taken unpopular advice because he believes it's the right thing to do, which is like, hats off.
Yeah.
And we saw today the Chancellor Rishi Sunak. A lot of people are trying to work out whether he's hot or not, because a couple of photos have come out of him on social media. People are going, oh yeah, he turns my gears on.
Apparently, if you put a man in a hoodie, he's good looking. That's what I got from that post. Wow. Look, he's wearing a hoodie, isn't he good looking?
Oh, so that's why I was sexually attracted to Peter Capaldi in Doctor Who.
Yeah.
That makes so much more sense.
I think that's to you, darling.
And Rami Malek in Mr. Robot.
Oh no, everybody's.
Rami Malek as Rami Malek, or Rami Malek as Freddy? Who's hotter?
Well, that's not really. You just can't, can you?
Yeah, because he's a nice looking bloke.
Yeah, I know, but as Freddy, he's Freddy, and that's even hotter.
Yeah.
Sorry. So anyway, the lockdown.
Jax is there like, what, just like, it's like almost pop, it's obviously Magic Stars, but it's almost popcorn.
Yeah.
Watch the pansexual debate continue.
Dealing with week one of the lockdown.
Yeah. I also heard that the lockdown's going to carry on until June, potentially.
Probably. I mean, where I work, they've sent all the really vulnerable people home at Friday, and they're not going to be back for 3 months.
Yeah. My work completely doesn't exist anymore until further notice, which should be interesting.
Oosh.
Oh yeah.
My work, as far as I'm aware, my work's still going. So, as for everything else in the lockdown, it's normal life, kind of. Just doing the shopping's a bit weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As I joked around before, it's So that's how I've dealt with it.
So just as actually on a good topic about Ellie's work, how did you feel about Rishi Sunak's announcement on Thursday regarding self-employed?
Oh my god, I was on tenterhooks. I was like, this is it, finally, I'm going to have some help. And he's there like, we're going to give self-employed people 80%, the same as 80% of their wages, exactly like we do for employed people. And I thought, brilliant, I'm saved. And then he said, in June. And I was just like, so I can't pay my rent. I'm going to have to use all my contacts. People say, can I have birthday money? Because I need to pay my car insurance. So it's it's great that he's doing this, and I realise that it's a really difficult thing to do, but for self-employed people who, most of us, because we work house to house, a lot of us, we were the first people in the first sort of wave of social distancing to lose our jobs before anybody else did. And so we're the last people to get help, very much. And it kind of sucks a lot, and I think that there's a lot of people out there who will have lost their houses and their jobs by now and their cars, and they're going to be in a lot of trouble, and it's really, really not fair.
Because they also say self-employed people should try and get universal credit, but that system's buckling under the amount of people.
I've applied for universal credit, but so far it's treated me like I'm unemployed rather than self-employed, saying, oh, you've got to talk to the job seekers people and all of this stuff, and then it's said that I'm not getting any money till next month, but it hasn't even told me how much I'm going to get when next month happens.
Yeah.
So I don't know how much I'm getting, if it's actually going to come through, and whether or not they're going to treat me like I need to find a new job the whole time. I don't know. I'd quite happily take up a key worker job to earn, but I'd rather know where I stand now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, it's really awkward. So really, they
money
just
is
simplify it.
Yeah, I was just thinking. Well, obviously, money seems to be the really big problem here. The fact that our system's all based around it, and we all need it to survive in modern society. Yeah. And then the moment something like this comes along, we're a bit screwed in the pooch.
Yeah.
What a lovely turn of phrase.
You would like it.
Oh, come on.
That one was specifically for you, Josh.
Just to point out to people, there is a... even if I say there's a background, that doesn't sound very good, does it?
No, it doesn't.
No.
I had an accident with a dog involving my thumb.
Oh, dear
That's
Lord.
so worse. You're making it worse. You're digging a hole.
You might as well just left it. Now the world will know what you've done.
Oh, it's fine.
Josh thumbed a dog.
Anyone got any more?
Not intentionally. Not intentionally.
This is getting bad. Right, I better get this on track. Anyone got any more thoughts on dealing with week 1 of lockdown?
Well, I was actually about to ask, has anyone done anything quite quirky over the past week? Has anyone sort of,
Quirky?
Sort of different, things that are really left field? Because I got ordained as a minister of the Church of the Latter-day Dude.
Why? Why did you do that?
Because
I want to know.
Not? It was free to do, and it literally just took filling out a form. That's literally all it... I had to adhere to the tenets of Dudism. By the way, Dudism, for anyone who doesn't know, is a pseudo-religion based on the dude from The Big Lebowski, the Coen brothers film from 1998.
Here I was born.
Yeah. And it just became this thing. So I became an ordained minister last night of the Church of the Latter-day Dude.
Of course you did.
Wow.
I can now officiate Dudist weddings. and Dudist funerals, which intrigues me more than the weddings, I have to say. But has anyone done anything quite quirky or anything interesting this week?
I watched a documentary on the Temple of Satanism. Satanic Temple, sorry.
Yeah.
As you know, because you were there.
It was really fun.
It was a really interesting documentary.
Hail Satan.
Yeah.
I'm going to sound really boring, but no, I haven't. I've literally been living my life the same as I'm still caught with what I was saying last time about the fact that it's weird that it's all this is happening around us, and yet I'm still going to work like normal. And so I'm still like, even in the evenings when I get back, it's still normal. You know, I just sort of get back, have a shower, watch some Brooklyn Nine-Nine, and that's about it. Go to sleep and rinse and repeat.
Fair enough. Right, well, shall we go to another song?
Yes.
Cool, right. So this band is a anarcho-punk band called Virus. One of my best friends is in that band, Tom Weeks. You've both met Tom, haven't you?
Yep.
Yes.
This is his, it's not his band, he's in the band. And I thought it was quite ironic to use Virus given the topic that we're talking about. And even more interestingly, this song is called Human Cell. So enjoy.
Under the microscope, watching the humans cope. The corporates all agree, for the good of humanity. Monitor society with advanced technology to serve their every need. Observe the human beings inside the kaleidoscope. In thick pollution smoke, I hear the corporates joke. All humans cough and choke in a sea of frequency with android technology. Mad scientists all agree, for the good of humanity. It's like living in an open prison. Watch what you say, they could be listening. Makes you wonder why they need to know who you meet and where you go. Someone's watching from an upstairs window. It's so big, brother has a TV show. Under the microscope, watching the humans cope. Abandon any hope. See your freedom go up in smoke. Living in this human cell. Living in this human hell. Living in this human cell. Living in this human hell.
That was Human Cell by Virus, which you can purchase from Grow Your Own Records. You can also stream them on Spotify and stream them on YouTube. Okay, so we're going to do something a little bit different now. Basically, one thing I've seen quite a lot this week is virtual pub quizzes. I took part in one the other day.
How'd it go?
I did really well, actually, thank you, yeah.
Oh, well done.
Yeah. So I thought, to pay homage to this, I thought we'd do a little general knowledge quiz of our own.
Oh no.
Yay.
Ellie versus Jack.
Oh, this is going to go well.
Okay, so here are the rules. You will be asked 10 multiple choice questions on general knowledge.
Yeah.
This could be anything, so let your mind run free. You will both
Good.
get a chance to answer.
Yes.
So basically I'll ask the question and I'll go, Ellie, what do you think? Jack, what do you think?
If we're wrong, do we get extra points for a funny answer?
No.
Oh,
Come on.
I will only accept your first answer. The person who gets the highest score will have to undergo one more question. Okay? If they get that right, they will receive an item of food or drink of their choice the next time I shop. So perhaps for Jack it'll be Thatcher's Haze, for Ellie it might be gluten-free bread.
More of a punishment than not the shopping, the extra question. More of a punishment than a reward. If you get all these questions right, you have to have another question. It's like, oh great. Thanks.
So,
I just like the difference of the fact that Josh is like, yeah, Jack gets the alcohol whilst you just get some bread.
Yeah,
well, Ellie doesn't
thanks,
really
Josh.
drink anymore, so...
I could drink.
What do you want then?
Alcohol.
What sort?
Alcoholic sort.
Yeah, the drinking kind.
The expensive kind, please.
The one with ethanol. Right. Right, so, are you both ready?
Hold on, I need to prepare myself.
I like how you're drinking Spider-Man's enemy.
What?
Green
Oh,
Goblin.
Green Goblin.
It tastes really good.
Other ciders are available. Are we ready?
Aye, aye, Captain.
Okay, so, here we go. Question 1. Kingston is the capital city of which Caribbean country? Is it Grenada, Cuba, or Jamaica? Ellie?
Grenada.
Jack?
I don't know, I'm gonna go Cuba because that's the only one that sounds familiar to me.
Okay, the answer is Jamaica. So, you both got that wrong.
Wait, hold on, what was the question again?
Kingston is the capital city of which Caribbean country?
Oh, I see where I made a mistake. Okay, yeah, carry on.
To be fair, they're all in the Caribbean.
Yeah.
Question 2. Which former Doctor Who would have celebrated their 100th birthday last Wednesday? Is it Patrick Troughton, William Hartnell, or John Pertwee? Jack?
I think it is... Hold on.
It was in the news.
Was it?
It was, yes.
This shows how little attention I've been paying to the news. That's bad. I'm going to go with Will.
William Hartnell. Ellie?
I think it's either him or Patrick Troughton. I'm gonna go with William Hartnell too.
The answer is Patrick Troughton. Yes. Patrick Troughton would have been 100 on Wednesday, the day before your birthday. Happy belated birthday, by the way.
Thanks.
It's alright, we did celebrate her birthday properly, as Jack will attest.
Pardon?
Don't worry.
I'm listening, you've got my full attention.
Question 3. Which H.G. Wells novel has been adapted to the screen 4 different times?
H.G. Wells novel?
Yes. Is it The Time Machine, The Invisible Man, or The War of the Worlds? Ellie?
4 different times, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Time machine.
Okay. Jack?
War of the Worlds.
The answer is The War of the Worlds.
Yes!
I thought it'd been more than 4.
Considering you watched one of them with me.
Yeah, I thought it was more than 4.
No?
I don't even know who H.G. Wells is. I just know there's a lot of War of the Worlds around.
Well, I can tell you, he's the author.
Oh.
Question
That's new every day.
Question 4. Which area of the Atlantic Ocean is thought to be responsible for a spate of missing planes and boats throughout the 20th century
Oh, that's an easy
and
one.
shares the name of a geometric shape?
That's an easy one.
Is it Barbados, the Canary Islands, or Bermuda? Jack?
Bermuda.
Bermuda.
The answer is Bermuda. You both get a point.
Yay!
Question 5. Oh, God, I've scrolled up too far. Question 5. In the BBC comedy series Gavin and Stacey, which town in Essex does Gavin come from? Is it Billericay, is it Colchester, or is it Prittlewell? Ellie? That face doesn't give me an answer. Your resting quiz face.
Colchester?
So Colchester for Ellie. Jack?
What are the answers again?
Billericay,
Yeah.
Colchester,
Yeah.
or Prittlewell?
I'm going for the first one.
Billericay?
Yeah.
That is the correct answer.
No way!
Yes.
That was a... Yeah, I know. I totally do that.
Do you actually watch Gavin and Stacey, Jack?
No, not a single episode. Bar that special one we had at Christmas.
Oh, fair enough. Question 6. The illustrator, Sidney Paget, created the trademark appearance of which famous book character? Is it Frankenstein's monster, Mr. Darcy, or Sherlock Holmes? Jack?
What's your author's name again?
Sidney Paget was the illustrator.
Sherlock Holmes?
I'm going Sherlock Holmes as well.
You both get a point. It was Sherlock Holmes. Okay, question 7. Which famous person is Lee Harvey Oswald said to have killed? Is it Benazir Bhutto, John F. Kennedy, or Benito Mussolini? Ellie?
John F. Kennedy.
Jack?
JFK.
You both get a point. It was JFK. Question 8. As of the 23rd of October 2019, which Netflix-made series is the platform's most watched show, being watched by 64 million people globally? Is it Stranger Things? Is it Big Mouth? Or is it Raising Dion? Jack?
Hold on. I got to try and remember when Big Mouth and Stranger Things came out. I'm trying to remember because I remember watching both. But I can't remember when I watched both.
Both are brilliant shows.
Yeah, that's the problem. I'm going with Stranger Things.
Stranger Things, Ellie?
Yeah, definitely going with Stranger Things.
You both get a point for Stranger Things. I believe that may have been topped by The Witcher of late.
Yeah.
And the Netflix-made film Murder Mystery has been watched by 73 million people worldwide. Okay, this is going to be a really tricky one.
Okay.
According to the official website for the Wizarding World franchise, so Harry Potter and Fantastic Beasts...
Crap, Ellie has an advantage.
I really don't think she will on this one.
Neither do I, somehow.
Hogwarts' school motto is Draco Dormien Nunquam Titilandus. What does this translate to in English? Oh, I think you might actually know this one, don't you?
I don't know.
Is it never tickle a sleeping dragon, always look on the bright side of life, or magicians must always cherish their familiar? Ellie?
It's never tickle a sleeping dragon.
Jack?
I'm going with what Ellie said, never tickle a sleeping dragon.
The answer is right.
Yeah.
Okay, question 10. It's a well-known fact that Jehovah's Witnesses don't celebrate birthdays. But what is the supposed reason as to why? Is it because the first Jehovah's Witness did not know his own birthday? There are 2 accounts of birthdays in the Bible, both of which end in murder. Or Jehovah's Witnesses cannot agree on Jesus' actual birth date, so see all birthdays as inaccurate. Ellie?
I'm not sure, but I'm going to go for number 3.
You're going to go for can't agree on Jesus' birthday. What about you, Jack?
What was number 2 again?
There are 2 accounts of birthdays in the Bible, both of which end in murder.
Actually, I'm going to go with number 3. It's because they can't agree on Jesus' birthday.
Well, the actual answer is there are 2 accounts of birthdays in the Bible, both of which end in murder.
I thought it was because they, because of their belief and their love for Jesus, they didn't want to worship, like, they saw their birthdays and Christmas as worshipping themselves or worshipping other people that isn't Jesus.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That's right.
I mean, there is a chance that 3 is right, but the answer I've got for this is the second one.
Okay.
So, right, so the final scores are Ellie with 5 and Jack steaming ahead with 7.
Oh, sweet!
So that means you get the final question and the possibility of getting Thatcher's Haze.
No, that means I get the Thatcher's Haze. Right?
No.
You have to get this question right to then get the Thatchers.
Yes.
Oh, you're a cruel man.
He's a cruel man. I'm having my pen back for that.
Oh, more editing. Thanks for that. Okay. So, the final question is, at one point in time, the oldest living multicellular creature on Earth was a 507-year-old mollusk, but something happened to ensure that it wasn't the oldest living creature for long. What happened? Was it turned out to be a plastic replica of a mollusk, it turned out not to be a mollusk at all, or the scientists studying it killed it by mistake?
So all three are equally funny options. Like, I'm sorry, I just imagine. So there's a really old mollusk, but the scientists, but something happened and it was no longer the really oldest mollusk.
Yeah, it didn't hold the record for very long. The question is, what happened to it? So was it a plastic mollusk? Was it not a mollusk? Or did the scientists kill it by accident?
Well, sorry, I just like the idea. I just like the idea of a bunch of, scientists that get paid a lot of money and they're studying this animal or this creature or this being that's supposedly really old, and it took them forever to realise, oh wait, it's not even alive, it's just plastic. But equally funny that someone accidentally stood on it. Sorry, I think that's funny.
Or equally the fact that it wasn't actually a mollusk and they just spent their time studying something else.
That's my lunch.
Yeah.
So what do you reckon, Jack?
Oh, this is tricky. I mean, it sounds familiar. I feel like I've heard it somewhere, but I can't remember. I'm gonna be honest. I'm drawn between number 1, and number 3.
Do you want to phone a friend? Do you want to ask Ellie?
Ask Ellie. Ellie, what do you think? Help me with my cider.
I don't know.
That's a guess.
I'd say 2, I guess, but I don't know.
What nationality were these? No. Where was this study conducted? Do you know?
I have no idea. Sorry.
Damn it. I think it was plastic. I'm going for 1. I've just sacrificed my factious haze. I know I have.
Actually, no, go for 3.
Oh, come on, you just looked it up online!
No, I didn't.
Unfortunately, Jack. Unfortunately, Jack, as the rules state, I can only take your first answer.
No! It was a mistake. I've been saved for it. Give me my factious haze, please. Don't do this to me.
So your first answer was the plastic mollusk?
No. They actually killed it. That's what I meant to say.
Okay, the answer is the scientists studying it killed it by mistake.
See, told you.
But because you had help, I am going to allow you Thatcher's haze.
Yeah.
It was 507.
Yep.
Wow. That's an old mullet.
Yes.
Sorry.
So, thank you for taking part in that quiz. I know you both did it begrudgingly.
We enjoyed it.
Sorry?
We enjoyed it. I mean, I'm glad it was multiple choice because you would have gotten some really stupid answers.
Yeah, you would have.
Okay, so we're going to go to another song now. This is actually, I'm worried about this one because this is actually one of mine. So I'm currently...
Don't be worried, be curried.
Right. So I'm currently under the name Binary 570. It's my music project, and this is a song that I'm donating to this podcast from an album I did last year called Binary 570. This is a song called Butterflies.
Are you not going to tell people to download this one?
You can
download this one.
You can do it for me.
Alright. Hey guys, go to a place that does the music and look for it. Give it a download, give it a listen, give it a like.
Josh will put it in the description, won't you, Josh?
Yes, I will.
And that was Binary 570's Butterflies by our own Josh Frampton. By all means, have a little cheeky look for it and download it. I'm sure he'll put a link in the description to help out with that.
Yep.
And now we're going to have a little chat about what's in the news, more Corona related than other stuff, I suppose. Of course, the biggest, the most recent thing, well, by the time you're watching this, it won't be recent, but it's recent to us, is the potential for strict measures to last significant lot longer. And I think actually for there to actually be a little bit more of a lockdown, I think.
Well, it makes sense given that they've already told Britons abroad to come home.
Yeah.
So obviously, if they've shut down the borders, then no one can come in.
Nope.
So
No.
I'm imagining that's the next step.
Yeah. It's getting grim though, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
I mean, we're over 1,000 deaths now, and there's about 20,000 cases.
That all confirmed cases.
Yeah, confirmed. Sorry, I meant
Testing
confirmed
everyone.
cases.
Yeah.
Well, I'm so generalised.
It's. I got to admit, when I was 10 years old, I had a lot of therapy for paranoia.
Yeah.
Part of it was because it was around the time that bird flu came.
Yeah.
So the paranoia that I experienced then, I've been really trying to sort of keep down as this has gone on. But last night it kind of broke, didn't it?
You're going to have moments like that, but I mean, like anybody who's worried, you're going to have worried moments, but you just got to keep remembering that it's, that it's out of your control. You've just got to breathe and get through it.
But it's more the point that more and more people now are dying that apparently don't have underlying health conditions.
Yeah.
Which is worrying me more. And you said yesterday, Ellie, that just because they don't have underlying conditions doesn't mean they're not healthy. So there doesn't seem to be any real kind of barrier for it anymore.
I mean, I'm sure there is. I'm sure there's logic to this, but I have no idea what the logic is. I'm not a scientist. But I mean, it's like with anything you can't control. You can't focus on it. Otherwise, it'll just make you worried.
Yeah.
I know it's easy to say and not as easy to do, but that is all you can do.
My mum was telling me yesterday that it's called turbo paranoia. The fact that it's all in the news, it's all the news are talking about, and it's feeding the paranoia further.
Yeah, well, I mean, they do that. They do kind of oversell negative stories because it sells more papers, more TV clips, whatever.
Plus, the news is getting a bit like what we got briefed in at work beginning of the week was to not ignore the news, but the problem with BBC News and all the tabloids and all the papers, it's not just the facts. You've got a bit of pizzazz with it. You've got it's not. I don't want to say fear mongering, but it kind of is. By the sounds of it, like if you're worried, all the news is going to do is make you worry even more. You're not really going to want to, by all means, use the news to keep informed of what's going on, what the government's doing, but you kind of take other articles and even, all the articles with a pinch of salt, separate the facts from the opinions and the sort of fear-mongering,
Yes, and especially these days, the amount of misinformation going around as well. That's almost a more dangerous disease than anything else.
But, But as for the news, it is just a bit more. It's not good. That doesn't sound great, does it? Yeah, it's not good news. People are dying. There's going to be stricter measures, and they're going to last longer. But the thing is, we will get through this. I think. I'm fairly certain. It's just another epidemic. There will be survivors, and the human race will continue, and the Earth will carry on spinning around. And on the bright side, nature is having a little reprieve and sort of gaining its own health back.
Yeah.
So long as you do the responsible thing of keeping safe, staying inside when you can, then there's really no reason to worry.
Is it worth us sort of just reiterating the slogan that the government have come up with?
What's that?
Stay home, protect the NHS, save lives. It's what they have on the podiums in the news briefings.
Don't spread bed.
No, that just spreads other things.
That's not quite what I meant by that.
Oh, right.
I'm just envisioning a fight between an STD and coronavirus. like herpes having a good old pop at it, like, oi, piss off, this is my territory, get your own. It's now be a bad time. I've had an idea for a meme, but
oh dear.
Yeah, it's a you know how some memes are essentially like a scene from a movie or whatever with words over them. You know the portal scene in Endgame?
Yes.
Yeah. Because I kind of envisioned it be like, sorry, we're supposed to be doing news and I'm tangenting off now.
That's fine. That's what we do on normal ones.
But real quick, my idea would be, obviously you have Thanos representing the coronavirus, you know, and then you've just got Steve Rogers standing up to him on his own, and I'm just like, right, so you're the last gummy bear I had when I was 12, you know, and then the portals open, and then you've got all, and then that'll be representing your actual immune system. But then obviously I wanted to work in stuff like, I heard rumours about like alcohol and masturbation/sex that improves your own immune system, and I just thought, you know, you have like, you had half of the soldiers being your immune system, but all the heroes would be alcohol. It would be like the alcohol, and then when you had Ant-Man gianting it up through the ground, there's like masturbation positive effects.
Oh, lovely.
Sorry, it is a bit cringy and a bit distasteful, but to me, I was like, yeah.
To be fair, I did see a meme this morning, which was, this time last year we were hyped up for Endgame, now we are in the Endgame. It was just a bit like, oh god. Just had a picture of Kermit just sort of biting his felt nails. Because Kermit isn't real.
What?
I'm lost. Is there anything else in the news you want to discuss? Anything related? I mean,
I just wanted to pay a little tribute. I mean, obviously they're not going to hear this, but the story that sort of caught me the most of the deaths that I've heard so far was a priest in Italy. He was on a ventilator, but he was conscious. He was in his early to mid-70s, and a young man came in of about 30-something, and he was much more severe. And the priest gave up his ventilator for the young man, and the priest died that night. You know, so I just thought it'd be nice to pay like a little tribute to the priest there. I'll find his name for the next bit, but that's the story that caught me the most. I don't know if you guys want to add anything to that.
That's quite deep, but that's quite something.
Yeah.
I don't think I've got anything to add to that. I mean,
no.
Well, we'll go to another song then. This band were originally from Bath, and then they settled in Dorset, and hopefully we'll hear from them again. This is a band called Psalms. I loved these guys when I was a teen because I knew them personally, so I was like, oh, they're really cool. This is a song called Sister.
The only reason I came back to this crap house was to find out who did it. And I'm not leaving till I do.
People talking, I don't listen. Just another whisper in my ear.
To find out who did it.
I'm the one that they fear, so I'm a weapon for all the hearsay. Just taking me away from here. Just another girl. It's so much shorter than it seems. I'm gonna try and hold this inside me. Don't let the world completely fall through my hands. Hold on if you can.
Positive news. First of all, when I'm researching this bit, I go on all the positive news and the all the positive news networks, and one of them is trending at the moment. The company Nada Community Energy, and they are a green energy company. So shout out to my mum because she's in that and she's on the website.
Whoop whoop Sue!
We've had a massive all-out clap. Everybody went out of their houses, cheered for my birthday and also for the NHS staff, secondarily. We've had, is that 7,000 or what? There's a comma after the two.
You wrote it. Oh, 700,000.
700,000 sign up for the NHS Helpers Initiative. You know, got an army of people saying, yeah, I want to do nice things for people. You've got Innocent Smoothies keeping us sane with their updates every day.
Oh, they're brilliant. Have you seen those, Jack?
Innocent Smoothies?
The Innocent Smoothie updates on Facebook.
Oh, no, I don't follow Innocent Smoothies.
Oh,
you should.
They're really good.
They do make us
Duly noted.
You've got air pollution levels in Italy and other countries on lockdown have dropped, some by as much as 40%, which is just like unimaginable levels. I mean, the European Union right now are taking notes. And carbon monoxide from cars has been reduced by nearly 50% compared to last year, which is also insane.
Damn.
I know.
That's good.
Communities help keeps coming in. You know, there's articles on 10 ways to help other people during the coronavirus. There's people doing loads of stuff for free for people just because they're nice people for no reason. And you've had the actor James McAvoy donate, what's that number, Josh?
257,000, but you've somehow made it 2 million. I'm not entirely certain how you managed that.
I copied the number from the website.
It's 257,000.
Okay, 257,000 to personal protective gear for frontline NHS staff, which is also very needed. So good things are happening still, you know, sometimes. Yay!
Whoop whoop, that was the positive news. From the Despondent
Good
Correspondents.
news!
Good news, everyone. You've got another delivery. Right, so should we jump to the next song real quick?
Yeah.
Okay,
let's do it.
Sorry?
Yeah, let's do it.
Cool. This song is from a Salisbury-based artist called Fuels, and this song is called Sucker.
'cause you're lonely. Think you call 'cause you're lonely through the night. Think you call 'cause you know me. Think you call 'cause you own me.
And that was Sucker by Fuels. Now we're going to ask ourselves, what next? What's going to happen when this is all over in the post-COVID world? What is going to be the fallout from this?
Should we pick one thing each to talk about?
I think you should read out your list of, because you asked this question on Facebook and you got some amazing replies.
I did, that's right.
That was an interesting thread.
I wrote a blog post as well using some of those points. I was actually one of my ones was going to be from that blog post, but I wasn't going to read it. I was just going to sort of verbalise it.
Well, do it. Say it. What's your thing?
Okay. Well, I personally think that there is going to be a discussion about ideology, political ideology, because we've got so many different things happening at the moment. We've got a conservative country introducing socialist fiscal policy to protect the economy, but then also with all of us having to stay in, the police getting extra powers, it is somewhat authoritarian as well. So we've got a different amalgam of different political ideologies happening at once. I mean, they're all necessary, but it'll be interesting. I think there's going to be a discussion in the Western world about which one worked the most, which one was the most beneficial. Obviously, as a socialist, I hope that, at some point the West becomes socialist, but at the same time, it could become much harder conservative. It could become anything could happen. But I reckon there's going to be a really fascinating debate in the couple of years following the end of the outbreak, where we start thinking about politics in a different way. Because also, a lot of in this country especially, a lot of the people who are key workers now, a couple of months back, were referred to as unskilled. And they're the ones that have been holding up the country. So there's going to have to be a change in the way that those people are treated as well.
Yeah.
I reckon there's going to be a debate on sort of political ideology and where we go from here. Because I was explaining to Ellie the other day that this is kind of like a 9/11-esque event. It's going to change a lot across the world because lots of the world is affected. So there is going to be a seismic change of some kind. What those changes are remains to be seen.
That's very good. I just think, from my point of view, the one change I'm expecting is there's going to be a change in the day-to-day life. I think it's going to be more of a financial thing than anything else. That'll be noticeable for people like people like me who just have a basic working job. I just think even after the outbreak, we're still going to be having to social distance ourselves for another good month or two, just to be on the safe side. And then there's going to be the question of money. Because obviously the government's having to sort of support people who can't work at the moment, and that's essentially a loan. And the question is, what's going to happen with the money? So money's going to be a question. So which is going to have an impact on other economic stuff. I'm no economic genius at all, so even though I'll probably be going to work the same, there might be a sort of change in how much we're paid, and if we have to sort of give back money, we have to borrow to survive this outbreak. So I reckon that's going to be the main fallout. But then again, it depends how it goes. I mean, if we handle this well, it won't be that bad. But if it does become a disaster, it's going to be a whole lot worse. So, what about you, Ellie?
I think it could kind of go one of two ways, because you've had all this change, and like you say, there's going to be some sort of recession. So either everybody's going to go, oh, well, we've got to carry on. It's going to be really, really hard for a while, and things are going to carry on, not as they were, but more or less as they were, maybe even a little bit more hardline right. And things are going to get very tough for people at the bottom for a while, or people are going to realise that, like you said, the people who've been the pillars, who've held everything up, those people are really some of the lowest paid and least appreciated workers, and that's going to have to change, and people are going to have to actually start paying them what they're worth. And I think that you will have one of the extremes. Either things will get a lot further right, or things will get a lot further left. And obviously my particular hope is that it will be further left, and people will just these communities that have come together will stay together and will continue to support each other even after the coronavirus, and these helpful packages that are put into place by the government now will continue. And if I was really, really hoping very hard, there could even be a basic income established in this country. I would love that. You know, I think that would be really beneficial. But obviously, we will see.
Because one of the things that was brought up by a lot of people was this clap for the NHS that we did on Thursday. That was actually quite divisive, because I took part as a show. Personally, I did it because I wanted to show solidarity with the NHS workers. I can't even begin to imagine what they're going through at the moment. But I wanted to show my appreciation for that. But quite a few people have decided not to do it because they felt that it was kind of playing into the government's hands. Really? Yeah, sort of saying, you're clapping, even though the NHS has been underfunded for nearly 10 years and all these different things. I actually had a comment that was quite venomous, actually, at one point, trying to explain their point of view. So I was wondering whether you thought it was, because also they want to clap Boris tonight.
I don't want to
I'm not doing that.
No.
But I'm just wondering what you guys thought about the clap and whether that was...
Well, the NHS, I'm sorry, I'm still stuck with this being described as an invisible war. The NHS are essentially the frontline soldiers. They are tackling the COVID-19 head on. They're trying to save as many people as possible when any battle is going to be horrific. So they are doing their damnedest in a really hard situation. Their backs are against the wall. And so they deserve all the support and love they can get. So I don't see any problem with the clap. It boost morale and just show that the whole country's behind the NHS, who are trying to keep the people alive. So I can't see, forget the political side of things, because the political side shouldn't really come into it. This isn't about politics. This is essentially about a service saving people's lives.
I couldn't have put that better myself.
Yeah, I completely agree with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I do think that the government will try to use it as self-aggrandising thing.
Yeah.
Like that person commented. And I think that that's awful, but we shouldn't not clap the NHS for it, if you see what I mean.
Jack said, it shouldn't come to the politics part of it. It should be the human decency.
It shouldn't be, nothing to do with politics. It is essentially the NHS saving our asses, fighting against the coronavirus.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And it's
sorry.
Sorry, go on.
No, I was just going to say, it's sort of similar to the 1 minute silence we had on November.
Yeah, that's true. But
it's in that sort of thing.
But it's also quite scary, and the last thing I'll say on it is it's quite scary, the fact that I've seen on Facebook, and Ellie's oldest friend works for the NHS, and quite a lot of places obviously we've got the NHS Nightingale Hospital in London being built on the XL Centre, but I've also heard in the past couple of days that part of Salisbury Hospital's car park's being converted into a makeshift mortuary.
Makeshift morgue?
Yeah, just in case there's that many cases. But also Birmingham Airport, I don't know if it's true, but I've heard that Birmingham Airport's going to be converted into a field hospital as well.
Do you know what? Field hospitals are creepy because you always see them in zombie films.
Yeah.
It's always we were playing Left 4 Dead 2 last night, and we were walking through a car park, and you had these makeshift hospitals with the tents and the beds and the bodies. I mean, this was a video game, so.
Yeah.
But and it's scary how it's this is a game, this is fiction, and yet here in reality it's actually sort of happening. But let's just hope they actually don't end up in a post-apocalyptic setting. They do the job they're meant to, and they will get put back down, and we all go back to some form of normality.
Well, I've actually tried to explain the whole post-apocalyptic zombie film to Ellie, but she doesn't watch them. So it's...
I don't want to see that. That's terrifying.
Yeah, now's not the really time to start, so...
No. Exactly. There's a reason I don't watch them, and it's finally here.
You need to be equipped.
No,
you need to know what's coming.
I'm the child of sort of preparedness people, and I'm not going to go into zombie movies. I'm just going to try and be sensible about it and try not to give in to the hype and the terror that people love to get involved in.
Fair enough. Right, should we jump to another song?
Yeah, let's do it.
Ellie, do you want to host this one?
What's next?
What's next? The postcard as well.
Below that.
Why don't you do that? Because you can read.
Okay, the next song is from a Bristol artist who's also my cousin, goes under the name of Marvin. This is a song called Deeper, Darker.
welcome to How to Survive the World, the New World, with Jack Burfitt. Take all his advice with a pinch of salt because the zombie apocalypse hasn't happened yet, so these methods are not tried and tested.
Over to you, Jack.
Again, yes, thank you, Ellie. Again, I haven't actually done any research on this, so this is all would be from pop culture and stuff, me being a fan of the Fallout and The Walking Dead and other post-apocalyptic genres. But on a serious note, there is a series on Netflix which it looks into preppers, which is the more real reality of if something bad were to happen, like a financial crash, nuclear bomb, or environmental disaster. They did a documentary on people who were preparing for this, and all of them had a similar sort of scenario where they had a bug out kit, they stocked up on food, they had a planned location to go to, but they're all still sort of kind of different. Like one was in an apartment in a city, the other one's lifestyle was completely, their lifestyle was on this. They lived their life in preparation for a disaster. They had their own fort, they were self-sustaining, they had bug out caches all in different separate places and into another route, all great, all amazing. I think it was called Preppers, so look that up on Netflix if you want to actually, if you feel this is going to get a whole lot worse, which I don't believe it will, but if you want to actually look for some genuine advice, I recommend starting there and then having a little Google around the website. But what I've learned is a key factor in not dying in the new world, aka a post-apocalyptic scenario, is stay hydrated. Make sure you've got at least water or a fresh water supply near you, because you never know, because obviously water is essential to living, as we all know. I was trying to think. So water is key. I imagine being able to be good at sort of first aid, so in case of boo-boos, because there's no doctors, there's no NHS anymore, this is quite a grim world, so yeah, good luck. But yeah, you've got to be able to at least administer your own first aid to help even save your life or save somebody else's. So what else do I do in Fallout? There will be elements of combat. Sounds silly, I know, but if it does come to looting and potential air quote raiders, end quote, you're going to want to be able
toilet rolls.
Yeah, you're going to want to be able to defend yourself. So either invest in a gun, although bullets are not going to be all that readily available because we are British, and there's a time you can't buy that stuff easily.
To any American listeners, just go to your local Walmart.
Yeah, go to your nearest vending machine. I'm sure they'll have a 9mm in there.
Don't encourage that.
Yes. Well, no, this is for post-apocalyptic, not actual right here, right now. Right here, right now, we're fine. But
yeah, I'm not actually advocating mass murder. I just want to point this out.
But I suppose I better go off what I do and how I kind of play. Like, if I play it, it would be a case of have a secure location, make sure you've got plenty of food, self-sustaining, as I said, water, being able to do first aid and defend yourself, but also have a sort of backup plan. If you do end up having to leave for whatever reason, make sure you've got a planned route, the journey and all that jazz. As when I played Fallout mode on survival, it's kind of like that, but it's a bit silly trying to compare reality to that, because in Fallout you could hoard weapons and food like no man's business and they didn't go out a day. It was like almost you had all these imperishable goods, and you could just almost live forever. But yeah, it's stock up on canned foods more than anything that can perish. So that actually is an idea for now. What I try to do if I go shopping is I try to buy a cheeky can of pork and beans or something that I know has a long shelf life, and eat through the fresh stuff first. Will also be a top tip. Just so that way, if you don't get round to the cans, you can save them for later, or if things get really desperate, you've got food there. So I think that's the sort of key elements here. And if you can form a community, do so. We're safer in numbers. So yeah, I mean, it's hilarious. It's weird how it's fiction. There's fiction out there, but at the same time, you can still learn some lessons from it all. So yeah, so stay hydrated. Make sure you've got food. Make sure you're in a safe location. You've got roof over your head. You can defend yourself, and you've got a plan B in case it all goes to shit. I think that's about it. That's all I can think of at the moment. But again, please remember these ideas and thoughts and advice is based on like pop culture, so it won't be 100% true. Because otherwise, I'll be saying, yeah, make sure you've got plenty of drugs because they're always helpful in a fight. Make sure you've got your stim pack. Make sure you've got your fire sword. You loaded up your sort-of shotgun with slugs. That kind of advice ain't really gonna.
Is it literal slugs or slugs as in like ammunition?
Yeah.
Because I can't imagine like the actual life forms would do very well being shot out of a tube.
Just be splattered.
Yeah.
Life forms.
Especially when the slugs.
Garden slugs.
Yes, I don't think life forms would do very well, but it'd be very funny to look on your opponent's face.
as the pin hits the slug and just propels the carcass.
Watch out for death claws. Don't get too close to the cazadors. Don't hug a zombie.
The extra mint adverts is not zombie accurate.
Yeah, it don't really work. If a zombie wants to kiss you, they're lying. They just want to eat you. Not pleasant.
Well, the best dates end that way.
But yeah, again, as I said, take it with a pinch of salt. I mean, if we do end up in that scenario and you're following this advice and you do get yourself killed, it's not my fault.
That is literally the legal disclaimer here.
Yeah.
That is the legal disclaimer. Don't take it as gospel truth. This is more of just me having a bit of fun and enjoying one of my favourite genres. So,
if you die, it's your own fault.
Quite literally.
It's natural selection.
Yes.
Yes.
Exactly. Right. Thank you very much for that, Jack.
No problem.
And I'm going to let Ellie introduce the next song and give background to it.
The next song is a song which was recorded in the 90s by a couple of hippies, one of whom is my dad. It's called Grandad's House, and it is about my great-granddad, who was a very fascinating man.
Grandad's house with all its treasure gave me many hours of pleasure, things from every land, dusted by my granny's hand. With shrunken heads and drinking steins arranged in cabinets in straight lines, a Zulu spear, a kukri blade above the mantelpiece displayed. Grandad's armchair I would doze and wish I knew what Grandad knows. Grandad's house with all its treasure gave me many hours of pleasure, things from every land, dusted by my granny's hand. The things my granddad said would rattle round inside my head. He said one day I'd want to know about the things that he could show. And now I want to understand, but he's not there to lend a hand. Grandad's house with all its treasure gave me many hours of pleasure, things from every land, dusted by my granny's hand. Grandad wove a magic spell around the stories he would tell. Now I too gather tales of wonder, add them to the spell I'm under. I spin the yarns that he spun me and let them be his eulogy. Grandad's house with all its treasure gave me many hours of pleasure, things from every land, dusted by my granny's hand. Dusted by my granny's hand. I'll let them be his eulogy. Let them be his eulogy.
So that was Grandad's House by Keynsham. A really big thank you to Ellie's dad for letting us use that. It was really nice to hear that. What we're going to play next is a little trailer that I've concocted for the usual Ultimate Crossover podcast that we've been experimenting with. Thought to whet your appetites. And so here is the trailer, and then there'll be another song. Okay, got the vortex manipulator working, got the translation matrix.
What about that quantum stabilizer?
I was getting to that.
Alright, I just wanted to know.
Well, I mean, it was next on my list.
What about the bit that does the when instead of the where?
Well, I mean, we can give that a test run if you want. Is there anywhere in particular you'd like to go?
There's a lot of places I like to go, so why not we just put it on shuffle and see what happens?
Oh, you mean the randomizer?
Yes, let's use the randomizer.
Let's use the randomizer. Okay, hold on.
Can I push this button? Oh no, that says self-destruct.
No, I wouldn't press that one if I was
Who
you.
would put a self-destruct button on a TARDIS? I mean, who'd want an exploding TARDIS, really?
Well, funnily enough, the main character of the show we're going to be talking about today did kind of blow up the TARDIS a couple of times.
He did kind of, but kind of didn't.
Well, let's just say we've got the TARDIS at the moment. I'm sure she won't mind us borrowing it. So why don't we head back? No, let's randomise it, shall we?
Okay.
Let's do that.
Let's go!
And the final song for tonight is, you've heard my current stuff, you've heard my friend Tom's current stuff, but we used to be in a band together this time last year, actually. No, not this time last year, this time 10 years ago. We were in a band called Against the Tide with a bassist called Joe, who was one of my oldest friends, and his younger brother Matty. And this is a song that Joe wrote, and I actually, in times like this, have missed doing Against the Tide, because it would have been nice to have done like a reunion, I think, seeing as lots of others seem to be kind of gesturing that way. So this song, before we say goodbye, is I Won't Die For You by my old band, Against the Tide.
And that was I Won't Die For You by Against the Tide. And now, unfortunately, guys, it's time to say goodbye.
Aww.
I know, it's come to the end of our fun little adventure podcast thing, you know.
Yeah.
We've discussed life in the vault, in lockdown for some of us. We had a little fun competition where I'm getting a Thatcher's Haze, and that's the important key element of that.
One thing we didn't actually clarify on that one was, am I getting you a 6-pack or am I getting you a bottle?
You should have clarified that before. Now I'm going to say 6-pack, aren't I?
To be fair, Ellie was giving me the 6-finger hello, so...
Yeah, I'm getting 6 of them bad boys.
Right.
No.
6-finger hello. Oh, hello. You know, we've had a discussion about the news, even though the news is quite grim. We've had lovely, positive, uplifting stories, thanks to Ellie.
The Despondent Correspondent.
Had a discussion of what's going to happen next after this is all over, and had a bit of fun giving advice on how to survive the next world. The new world.
The next world.
The broken world. A apocalyptic scenario.
That's the next podcast, How to Survive Death.
How to not die when it's easy to die. And we've listened to some good music along the way.
Anyone had any particular favourites for the music? I'm not going to get offended if you don't say mine. That's fine.
I feel like this is a trick question.
No, it really isn't a trick question.
It's a trick question. I'm not answering it. I don't feel brave enough to.
I think my favourites personally has been Grandad's House. I think that was a really nice...
obviously I like that one. I really like No Man.
Yeah.
I really like that one.
And to be fair, I don't think Jack's actually heard any of the songs yet.
I was trying to pretend like I have, but you caught me out. Yes, I don't know any of the single songs. I'm just replaying them for you without listening. That's how good a person I am.
The price of long distance.
Yeah.
Well, not long distance because you're the other side of town, but...
I'm far, but not that far. I'm close, but I'm not that close. What am I? I'm Jack.
The strangest riddle.
It is a strange riddle. And, on that bombshell, it's time to end.
Yes, just a very, very quick thank you to everyone that allowed me to use their music in this podcast and the last one. Really, really appreciate you guys helping out. So from everyone here, thank you so, so much for letting us play your music. Hopefully something comes of it. That'd be nice if you guys got, more followers or more downloads as a result of what we've played. So,
we've enjoyed it.
We have.
It's been fun.
Yes.
It's helped us get through these difficult times, and I hope at least to whoever's listening to this, it helped you get through your difficult times.
Yeah, and I hope at least one of us survives the coronavirus to tell the tale of this.
Yeah.
So enjoy next week's podcast with Ellie.
No.
When she'll be delivering her eulogies for both of us.
Yeah.
While we're in Salisbury car park.
I did you a pleasure.
Oh, man.
I'm going to hospital. I'm going to get fixed. Wait, what do you mean we're hanging out in the car park in a really crap tent? It's going to be like a really shit Glastonbury, isn't it? They say Glastonbury's cancelled, but it ain't. It's coming back, just a bit more medically than before.
You think you're going to have the live streams of Coldplay on the screens rather than actual Coldplay?
Yeah.
Mind you, they've pretty much done that, haven't they, with, what's his face? The guy who sings for Coldplay.
Oh, Chris Martin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's live streamed some music.
I just love the fact James Blunt has decided not to, even though, to be honest, I prefer him to Chris Martin.
And on that note,
on that bombshell,
thank you very much for listening, everybody. Stay safe, carry on surviving, keep KBO.
And don't let the bastards grind you down. So it's good night from Jack.
Good night from Josh.
From me.
More editing. God damn it, more editing.
Bye.
Take care, everyone.
Good night.